Amid the vastness of everyday life, a silent language surrounds us, an invisible web of symbols shaping our world without us even noticing. They are everywhere, lurking in the shadows of advertisements, in the details of coins, in the subtle gestures of the powerful. These hidden signs are not mere images, they are keys to an ancient code, designed to manipulate our minds, control emotions, and align thoughts to a secret order. Have you ever wondered who truly holds the power behind these images? And how far are we being guided by symbols operating beyond the public eye? Today, we embark on a journey to unveil the mysteries behind the elite symbols, a world where pyramids, watchful eyes, and owls carry dark meanings and almost invisible power. Prepare yourself to enter a realm where nothing is as it seems, and every detail can be a clue or a trap. This is the gateway to the unknown, the beginning of an investigation that may change the way you see the world. In a world where images speak louder than words, there exists a secret language that few notice, but everyone absorbs. Symbols are everywhere, on the packaging we touch, in the music we listen to, in hidden messages within the media, and even in the public figures we admire. They are not mere drawings or signs. They are powerful tools that penetrate directly into the subconscious, manipulating emotions and decisions before we even realize it. The human brain recognizes these images in fractions of a second, activating areas linked to instinct and emotion, an invisible and profound power. Since time immemorial, influential groups have understood the hidden value of these images. Artists, politicians, and large corporations use symbols to send encrypted messages, identifying alliances and commanding loyalties. This language is not written in words. It is a silent code that shapes behavior, directs thoughts, and creates an invisible web of social control. This is not just marketing or art. It is a form of manipulation that spans eras, becoming part of the social fabric that surrounds us daily. The evidence of this influence is often concealed, but never absent. Leaked files and unofficial documents point to the systematic use of symbols by secret agencies and occult organizations operating behind the scenes of global power. Public figures use signs that seem innocent but carry deep meanings for those who know how to interpret them. The all-seeing eye, the unfinished pyramid, and other images carry messages of surveillance, domination, and alignment with dark forces operating beyond the view of most. These symbols are not chosen at random. Every detail, color, shape, and position has a precise purpose, designed to trigger instinctive responses. When a familiar symbol appears repeatedly, it creates a feeling of comfort and security, an almost automatic emotional connection. This reaction conditions how we perceive brands, leaders, and ideologies, shaping our worldview without our awareness. We are being guided by an invisible power working silently to influence our choices and emotions. Symbolic manipulation is not a recent phenomenon. From ancient civilizations to modern times, the strategic use of images to control populations has been constant. And today, with technology and digital media, this influence has become more intense and ubiquitous. What was once restricted to hidden circles is now spread on every screen, in every product, in every public speech. This symbolic network operates in the shadows, commanding behaviors and maintaining an invisible order that few dare to question. But how far does this control reach? What is the true extent of the power of the symbols that surround us? And who is behind this vast operation of silent manipulation? The answer may lie in something even deeper and more hidden, a plot that extends beyond what ordinary eyes can see. Prepare to uncover a secret language that shapes the world and manipulates minds, an invisible reality that few have had the courage to explore. Symbols have a unique power. They bypass conscious thought and directly trigger areas of the brain linked to emotion and instinctive behavior. Brands exploit this by embedding symbols that evoke comfort and emotional attachment. Consider the golden arches of McDonald's, a symbol instantly associated with familiarity and safety. Politicians use colors strategically to invoke urgency or trust. The mere exposure effect proves that the more we see a symbol, the more likely we are to develop a preference for it, even if we don't understand why. This effect releases dopamine, creating emotional loyalty. Unbeknownst to most, These images shape our decisions beneath the surface of awareness. Our brain is wired to recognize patterns and familiar icons in milliseconds, triggering subconscious responses that condition our behavior. This means we are often manipulated by images acting on the deepest levels of the human psyche. The invisible hand of symbolism steers us, influencing our emotions and choices without overt persuasion, making us unwitting participants in a grand psychological play. This manipulation is far from accidental. Every detail in a symbol, its color, shape, placement, is designed to provoke a precise reaction. Repetition deepens this conditioning, forging a bond that makes brands, ideologies, and leaders feel trustworthy and safe. It is a silent influence that molds public perception, reinforcing power structures that rely on our emotional responses. We live in a world carefully curated to guide us through symbolic triggers invisible to the naked eye. Scientific studies confirm the potency of these mechanisms. When exposed to familiar symbols, the brain's reward centers light up, releasing neurotransmitters that encourage repeated engagement and loyalty. This neurochemical conditioning is the foundation of modern advertising and propaganda, a tool so effective that it operates beneath our conscious guard. The use of symbols has evolved into a weaponized form of control, shaping society's collective behavior with subtlety and precision. The scope of this symbolic manipulation extends beyond commercial use. Governments, secret organizations, and powerful elites use these principles to maintain control and direct the masses. From flags to logos, from slogans to ceremonies, symbolism saturates public life, embedding itself in our subconscious. It is a language of power, understood and utilized by those who seek to govern not only through laws but through the silent sway of the mind. As we recognize the influence symbols exert on our brain, the question arises: how much of our reality is shaped by these unseen forces? Are we free agents, or are we puppets guided by an invisible code? The power of symbols is both ancient and modern, weaving a web of control that touches every aspect of life. Unraveling this mystery brings us closer to understanding the true extent of the invisible forces shaping our world. Since ancient times, certain symbols have carried hidden weight and almost mystical power. Among the most iconic is the unfinished pyramid topped by the all-seeing eye, an image evoking constant surveillance and invisible control, with roots deeply embedded in ancient Egypt and occult traditions. This symbol is not merely a mark but represents an eternal gaze, silently watching and judging. Its true meaning remains obscured, reserved for the elite who manipulate the shadows of power. The pyramid and eye serve as a silent reminder of an unbroken legacy of influence and control. The owl, on the other hand, is a less visible but equally potent emblem. It is closely tied to the secretive Bohemian Grove, a retreat where powerful political and financial figures convene away from public scrutiny. The owl symbolizes hidden wisdom, nocturnal vigilance, and an ever-present threat. Dark rituals, including symbolic sacrifices and effigy burnings, are said to take place in this shadowy enclave. Figures like Rockefeller, Kissinger, and Clinton are rumored to partake in these gatherings, reinforcing their power through occult symbolism and clandestine rites. These symbols are not merely decorative or folklore. They act as secret codes of allegiance and psychological control. The pyramid, the all-seeing eye, and the owl form a symbolic tripod reinforcing the narrative of invisible power and ceaseless surveillance. They constitute a coded language accessible only to an exclusive inner circle. This elite uses these images to communicate intentions, forge alliances, and maintain their dominance, all hidden from public view. Their impact goes far beyond secret gatherings, seeping into everyday life and creating a subconscious feeling of being watched and controlled. Fear, awe, and reverence intermingle in this symbolic domain, making power feel both omnipresent and unquestionable. These symbols anchor the hidden order in the minds of the masses, rendering it both real and intangible. Symbolism thus becomes a potent tool for social manipulation and control. Unveiling this system forces us to confront not only who holds power but how it is exercised and preserved. The strategic use of these images by the elite suggests a deep and sophisticated form of manipulation. Social control is maintained by symbols resonating within the collective unconscious. This network of signs forms an invisible code guiding beliefs, behaviors, and loyalties, constructing a hidden realm beyond ordinary perception. Understanding this symbolism prepares us to explore even deeper mysteries. The next topic will reveal how these signs appear on the currency we use daily. These images hint at a vast global project of silent domination, concealed in plain sight. The puzzle grows darker, the threads more tangled, as the true extent of this hidden influence comes to light. The $1 bill is far from an ordinary piece of currency. It is embedded with a complex web of symbols, each carefully designed to communicate hidden meanings. The most striking is the unfinished pyramid topped by the all-seeing eye, a symbol of eternal vigilance and control. This pyramid, rooted in ancient Egyptian mysticism, suggests an incomplete project, a world still under construction by shadowy forces. Surrounding the pyramid are cryptic Latin phrases, Annuit Coeptis, meaning he favors our undertakings, and Novus Ordo Seclorum, or New Order of the Ages. These phrases imply a divine sanction for a secretive new world order. Beyond the pyramid and eye, the bill contains numerous subtle references to the number 13, which is traditionally associated with transformation and upheaval. There are 13 steps on the pyramid, 13 stars above the eagle, 13 stripes on the shield, and 13 arrows in its talon. This recurring motif is believed to connect to the 13 elite families said to govern global affairs from the shadows. Additionally, hidden in the upper right corner, almost invisible to casual observation, lies a small owl, a symbol famously linked to the Bohemian Grove. This secretive society is known for hosting clandestine meetings of influential political and corporate leaders. The owl's presence on the dollar bill is not accidental. It is a subtle nod to the ongoing influence of occult symbolism in the world's highest echelons. Every transaction involving this bill unknowingly perpetuates the power and dominance of an elite network that operates behind the scenes. The dollar thus functions not only as money but as a ritual object, a talisman charged with symbolic power that enforces loyalty and obedience to this invisible regime. It is through such symbols that control is exercised, not by force, but through psychological conditioning. When examining the dollar bill, one must consider the broader implications of its symbolism. It transforms a simple monetary tool into a vehicle for an ideological and spiritual agenda. This hidden design nurtures a subconscious allegiance to a power structure that few truly comprehend. The dollar's ubiquity ensures that these symbols infiltrate the daily lives of billions, reinforcing an invisible order with each exchange. The ritual embedded in this currency is a continuous, silent affirmation of the global elite's dominion over society. This symbolic ritual extends beyond economics into the realm of social and political influence. The dollar's iconography serves as a coded language understood by the initiated, connecting financial power with mystical authority. It suggests that economic transactions are not merely commercial exchanges but part of a greater ceremonial process. By embedding these esoteric symbols in the world's most widely circulated currency, this project sustains a cycle of domination that operates beneath the surface of conscious awareness. Ultimately, the dollar bill is a microcosm of a larger conspiracy, a global project masked by everyday normality. It represents the fusion of ancient symbolism and modern power structures, merging financial control with occult ritual. This dual function keeps the masses compliant, unaware of the deeper forces steering their world. The dollar symbols serve as a constant reminder that behind every financial transaction lies an invisible hand guiding human fate, a hidden order whose influence extends far beyond the bill's physical form. Global leaders such as George H.W. Bush, Henry Kissinger, and George Soros have openly spoken about the concept of a new world order. This phrase hints at an agenda aimed at unifying governments, cultures, and economies under a single, centralized system of control. Symbols play a crucial role in preparing the public mind for this inevitable transition. Before physical and political dominance is asserted, symbolic control quietly takes root, conditioning the masses to accept a new reality without resistance. This subtle psychological manipulation operates beneath conscious awareness, making it almost impossible to reject. The New World Order is not a modern invention but an ancient project with deep roots that stretch back centuries. It has evolved through various historical epochs, adapting to political shifts while maintaining its core objective, consolidating power within a hidden elite. Public displays of symbolism in architecture, currency, and political imagery reveal a continuous thread that connects past and present. These symbols are a coded language that communicates allegiance to this overarching agenda, reinforcing the legitimacy of an unseen authority. They serve as silent signals that the public often absorbs without question. The use of symbols by the elite is strategic, targeting the subconscious mind to influence behavior and thought patterns. Colors, shapes, and repetitive motifs create a psychological framework that normalizes the idea of centralized control. The widespread presence of these symbols across media and public spaces ensures constant exposure, making acceptance of the New World Order seem natural and inevitable. This preconditioning blurs the line between voluntary acceptance and subtle coercion, effectively eroding critical resistance within society. Prominent figures linked to this agenda do not shy away from hinting at their intentions. Public speeches and writings occasionally reference the New World Order as a necessary evolution for global stability and peace. However, beneath this seemingly benign rhetoric lies a darker truth, a quest for unchallenged dominance that suppresses dissent and individual freedoms. The symbolic groundwork laid by these elites prepares the masses to embrace such control as a safeguard against chaos, masking the loss of autonomy behind the promise of security. The New World Order's agenda also integrates with financial systems, international organizations, and military alliances. Each institution acts as a node in a vast network designed to streamline and enforce control on a global scale. Symbols embedded within these structures serve as badges of allegiance, signaling membership in a covert system of power. This interconnected web allows the elite to coordinate actions discreetly while maintaining an illusion of democracy and freedom. The public remains largely unaware of this intricate framework operating just beneath the surface. In essence, the New World Order represents the culmination of centuries of covert planning and symbolic manipulation. It is an omnipresent force shaping geopolitics, economics, and culture through a subtle yet relentless campaign of control. The question remains, how much of this future is predetermined by those who wield symbols as instruments of power? And to what extent will the world's population awaken to this silent takeover before it is too late? The enigmatic figure of Baphomet, with its goat's head and androgynous body, embodies a fundamental duality: light and darkness, heaven and earth. This occult symbol represents the balance between opposing forces, a concept central to esoteric traditions. The iconic gesture, as above, so below, links the material world with the spiritual realm, suggesting that what happens on one plane mirrors the other. Baphomet's image is not confined to secret societies. It has seeped into popular culture and commercial logos, subtly reinforcing these hidden philosophies to a broad audience. One of the most surprising examples is the original Starbucks logo, which incorporates the Baphomet's twin-tailed mermaid figure. Contrary to popular belief, this symbol does not have Nordic origins but rather derives from the Dictionary of Symbols, rooted in mystical and occult references. Through such branding, esoteric symbolism infiltrates everyday life, making the public unwitting carriers of ancient messages. These symbols operate below conscious recognition, implanting ideas about power, balance, and hidden knowledge into collective perception. Baphomet's androgyny challenges traditional binaries, embodying a fusion of male and female principles that reflect a deeper spiritual unity. This dual nature resonates with occult teachings that emphasize the reconciliation of opposites as a path to enlightenment. The figure's unsettling appearance serves as a visual metaphor for the tension between known and unknown, order and chaos. It acts as a cipher, communicating complex spiritual truths to initiates while remaining cryptic to outsiders, preserving its mystery and power. In secret rituals and occult gatherings, Baphomet is often invoked as a symbol of transcendence and forbidden wisdom. Its presence suggests a break from conventional morality, celebrating knowledge that lies beyond societal norms. This symbolism appeals to elite groups seeking to assert dominance through esoteric authority. By embracing such icons, they position themselves as gatekeepers of hidden truths, reinforcing their separation from the general population and justifying their privileged status. The pervasive use of Baphomet and similar symbols in mainstream culture signals a slow but deliberate normalization of occult ideas. Music, fashion, and art frequently borrow these motifs, embedding them in the cultural fabric. This process subtly desensitizes the public, making esoteric symbolism a part of everyday aesthetics rather than a taboo subject. As these images proliferate, they reshape collective consciousness, blurring the lines between mysticism, rebellion, and commercial appeal. Ultimately, Baphomet stands as a haunting emblem of duality, power, and hidden knowledge that transcends time and culture. Its image challenges us to question the boundaries of light and shadow, and what truths might lie beneath the surface of accepted reality. Is this symbol merely an artistic curiosity, or does it hint at a deeper, occult influence shaping our world? The answer lies in the shadows, waiting for those bold enough to seek it. In the 12th century, the Knights Templar emerged as a powerful order tasked with protecting pilgrims and securing Christian territories. Beyond their military role, they built a sophisticated financial network that rivaled kingdoms, laying the groundwork for modern banking. Their wealth and influence made them targets of envy and fear. In 1307, under mysterious and brutal circumstances, the order was disbanded, accused of heresy and occult practices. Yet, many believe this was a cover-up to seize their vast resources and hidden knowledge. The fall of the Templars marks not an end but a transformation. From their ashes rose new secret societies, most notably the Illuminati, which absorbed Templar esoteric wisdom and financial expertise. The Illuminati's mission extended beyond mere wealth. It sought to influence global events through hidden networks of power and symbolism. This continuity between the Templars and the Illuminati suggests a long lineage of clandestine control that shapes history from behind the scenes, veiled by myth and misinformation. Symbols and rituals used by the Templars, such as the cross and secret hand signs, were inherited and adapted by the Illuminati to maintain secrecy and authority. These symbols served as coded messages among members and tools of influence over the masses. The legacy of the Templars' hidden knowledge continues to fuel conspiracy theories, as their secret agendas allegedly persist in the hands of modern elites. The true extent of their influence remains obscured by layers of secrecy and deliberate obfuscation. The official historical narrative largely ignores or downplays the connection between the Templars and the Illuminati, dismissing them as myths or fringe theories. However, the recurring presence of their symbols in architecture, currency, and political iconography hints at a deeper truth. These symbols act as a silent language that links past and present, signaling continuity in the quest for power through secrecy. This hidden thread challenges conventional history and invites us to reconsider what we accept as fact. Throughout centuries, the legacy of these orders has woven itself into the fabric of global power structures. Their influence spans governments, financial institutions, and cultural norms, all underpinned by a shared symbolism that reinforces control. The rituals and symbols are not relics of the past but active tools in a grand design to maintain influence over societies. Understanding this lineage sheds light on the shadowy mechanisms that govern much of our world today. As we peer into this dark historical web, we are left with unsettling questions. How deep does this lineage run? To what extent do ancient secrets still dictate modern power? And what part do we unknowingly play in this grand design? The answers are buried in history's shadows, challenging us to uncover the hidden truths behind the symbols and stories passed down through the ages. As we delve into the symbols of the elite, we uncover a hidden code that goes far beyond mere coincidence. Pyramids, eyes, and owls are more than just images. They are instruments of an ancient power used to watch, control, and silently shape society. Behind these figures lies an elite that manipulates the collective imagination, keeping its influence far from the spotlight and public scrutiny. These symbols repeat themselves in currency, secret meetings, and even commercial brands, weaving an invisible web that conditions our emotions and decisions. The influence of this symbolic language is not mere conspiracy theory. Evidence suggests it permeates multiple levels of global power. But the question remains, could all of this be just a theory? How far does this manipulation go? Who really controls this symbolic network? And what is the true purpose behind this hidden dominion? Are you ready to question everything you've ever believed? The truth may be lurking in the shadows, waiting to be revealed by those brave enough to look beyond the veil. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Could this all be nothing more than a theory? Like, share, and subscribe to continue this dark investigation, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. The invisible power of symbols still has much to reveal.